Therefore, I am this vast more thing. And I hear now how strength attacks. Say, I realize the longing of my mind will execute. Therefore, I will not take a love for I guess so. Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning.
How's everybody doing?
Yeah.
Awesome. Hey, pull your chairs up, will you please? Come on in. Roll them in. Circle the wagons. Circle them up. Rawhide. Show somewhere. Rolling, rolling. Check those doggies rolling. Rawhide. Come on, Evan. Yes, sir. No Marine left out, right?
Right.
Hurrah. 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 Hey, thanks for being here. Wins, gratitudes, victories. Wow, how did they jump?
I'm thankful for this building. I took a couple weeks off, and it was really nice to have a few of the other workers here, agents, call me and just check in on me and ask how things were going, and also too just seeing how my process has been, and then being back here to see the enthusiasm and to be a part of it. It's really motivating and really enjoyable to know that I'm a part of such a powerful team. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
so
nice.
Thank you, everybody.
Well said. Thank you.
I got an easy one for me.
Okay.
I'm grateful for Jeff. He's not even paying attention. He's just trying to talk. Jeff has a vision that he can spot agents who are going to be great. He's got a new one next to him.
Yep.
Introduce.
Yep, Daniel.
So Daniel's the new guy. He's awesome.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yep.
So, anyway, just thanks, Jeff.
Yeah, he's a great leader. Love watching what he's done, but you know, he's come from a great leadership background and has a lot of good things to offer, so we appreciate him too.
Thank you.
So who else? Yeah.
I got a win. Yesterday I contacted first people ever. My father-in-law was the first person. He gave me about 3 contacts. And
Wow.
It may not be much, but coming from him, it's amazing. And second day in real estate, I got someone to call today to see if they want to sell the house.
Look at that. Second day. And role playing, he did his presentation today. He did not look like a rookie.
No.
It was pretty good, huh?
Yeah, I was like, I thought he just started. I was like, where's he coming up with this?
Yes, awesome. Very good job. Who else? Yeah.
I'm grateful for this place too. I've been for a little bit, but every time I come, I'm like, oh, it's nice to see everybody. And one more, it was cool because yesterday I got a text. I was hanging out with my mom yesterday, so
That was fun meeting her.
Yeah, I didn't really work too much. I was trying to spend time with her, but I had a text from someone like, hey, you gave me your card, and like now we're meeting today, and they want to buy. So
Wow.
we'll see.
Good
All
for
that
you.
feels like it's paying off. Yeah.
Nice.
She does. She hands out the card to everybody.
Yes. So that works.
I don't know. We'll see.
And new people. Yeah. Who else? Okay. Oh, go ahead.
I'm just gonna always say that I'm so grateful for this nation
Yes.
and for the freedoms that we have.
Right.
And it's most especially I just enjoy the environment here. You guys just make it so worthwhile to come and push myself to get here early in the morning. So I'm just grateful to all of you.
Yeah. Thanks for being here and being part of it. Here's a guy that's ex-Marine or ex-Army. What was it?
Army.
Army?
Yeah.
So thanks for your service. And that's goes deep in my heart. So thank you. So who else? Yes.
I actually hired a mindset coach.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I love that.
And just kind of get over some fears of calling specific prospects type of things. And even though I haven't actually gotten one yet, I've consistently started calling for sale by numbers associates.
Great step.
I've talked to 5 a day for the last 4 weeks.
Nice. Good job. Great job in hiring a mindset coach. That's a good step. Good for you. Tough, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Facing yourself is difficult at times. So awesome. Anything else? Okay. Everybody knows Christopher, right? Christopher, raise your hand so everybody knows who you are. This is the lead president guy in Sparrow. You guys have any questions about mortgage? If you have your mortgage partners you're in love with, we understand. Use them as a backup if you can. They're right there. They can do some great things, and they're doing things that a lot of people cannot. So leverage in where you can. If nothing else, give them a shout out and ask them how they're doing. Okay, so we might get into the book. We might not get into the book. If we don't get into the book today, Jonathan's going to finish it up next week.
We should finish it up
Okay?
in 4 weeks.
Why is that?
It's so powerful.
Is it that powerful?
Yeah, we need more time to go over it.
Are you reading
We'll see. Huh?
it? You're rereading it?
It's,
Is absorbing?
each chapter needs a week.
We can't go another 4 weeks.
Right.
We need to
right.
finish this up this next round.
I know,
I
I'm
know.
saying anyone not reading is,
Should be reading it,
is
right?
missing out.
Max out. This guy's an ex-Marine, isn't he?
No.
Is that, oh, he's an athlete. That's right.
Baseball player.
Baseball player. I love athletes because of their intensity to get things done. I relate very well. So, I haven't read it. That's why I'm having him do it, because I was here last time. So,
He gave me his book.
and I'm getting it back when it's done. So, I told him when I give it to him, I want it back when you're done, because I really want to digest that. Okay, so, takeaways from Summit. Man, 10th year. I mean, you look at the journey, look at what's been created, look at from the beginning, some of the people who are still here, those who've gone, those who've come back. What's your takeaways?
Learn from your mistakes.
Right, that was such a good one. Yeah.
Stop learning the same lessons so many times. That's my problem. I've learned a lot of lessons multiple times.
And I exist in that boat because it's like I gotta be hitting the head with a bat, right? Just to learn the lesson. Yeah,
I
that's
thought it was amazing. I've been here, John's been here, and Lynn's been here for quite a while. That's like, and seeing what's that? What's it?
always learning,
And
right?
seeing how much we've grown from being Everest and what George was going through at that time. Like, and I've always joked with him, George, I wish you would have told me what was going on. Like, you were losing your damn house and having heart surgery and all this other stuff before you recruited me. But he just went to work and just seeing that growth pattern and how what he said I thought was powerful was what the next 10 years is going to bring. That was looking back to what we all were then to where we are now, and those lessons learned, I would really resonate.
Well, and I resonated on one thought coming out of that. He believed. For me, that was a strong comment. He said, I just believed where I was going. I could see it. I could feel it. I could be it. Like Sir Edmund Hillary, vision 10,000 times as he summited. George did the same thing here. He said it's like Walt Disney, right? Same thing. He could see the vision. Regardless of what he was going through, he could see it, feel it, taste it, smell it. He was there in his mind. And man, that's the same experience as actually being there. So you're right. Powerful, powerful statement.
Rick? Oh,
Yeah, go
can I
ahead.
comment on learning from our mistakes? I just read in the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell. He says, we have a tendency to hate our mistakes and hide them as quickly as possible out of our lives. He said, love your mistakes, analyze them, study them, and learn from them. Don't just put them under the carpet and get rid of them.
Well, because then you don't get rid of them because they stay there and become debilitating. You have a lump under your carpet.
Yeah,
Like, it's
that's
there.
great.
It doesn't go anywhere if you don't pay attention to your mistakes, if you don't learn from them, if you can forgive yourself for not having the sharp tools or the knowledge that you're supposed to have, or that you have now
I like that.
for the mistakes then. What was it Mike Ferry said? Somebody said, there's a reason the rearview mirror is so small and the windshield is so big. Is it done?
That's really good.
And I'm terrible. My inner dialogue about my mistakes in the past are terrible. I'm brutal with myself. I can assume that maybe a lot of people in here are as well.
They become a tumor on our mindset, right?
Forgive yourself. Figure out what the lesson
Right.
is and then move on.
Very good. Brett and Dan.
I was just gonna say, George's story was a tremendous story about struggle and redemption, and we can all empathize with him. Back in 2008, I had a veterinary practice in West Jordan that just totally tanked. Fortunately, I was in a position that I could do some downsizing and so forth, and so I didn't go through such a severe time as he did, but I can really empathize with what happened.
It's nice when you can see that our leaders had, a journey just as we did. And know that, hey, he can get up in front of all those people and express, how painful that was, how scared he was. It makes it feel like, God, he does get it.
And he took him 10 years to let us know.
Right, well, yeah. Like, look, great leaders do that. Because I remember him telling me once, Rick, when I decided to take on a company, I made the decision, I can't have another bad day. Too many people, I think it's closer to 80% of everybody you talk to is going through the worst time of their life. That's a real stat.
There's a saying I heard years ago. It's you hit your head against the wall enough times so your ears pop out.
That is really good, right? You start listening.
But it's crazy. Like, think of the mindset of that. He's building a company, he's inspiring people, he's on this schedule, has no money, almost loses his home, has to go get a heart surgery. Gets over that, blows his knee out playing basketball, gets that fixed, playing golf, squeezes a water bottle cap into his throat, almost dies, attaches his retinas, still comes to work. Oh,
One of my favorite.
staph infection on his freaking face.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
Like, George, what's that?
It's nothing.
Still there.
Suspect.
Still there. And my knee hurts. Oh, maybe I can't work out today. Oh, shut up.
I should call that. That is
I'll tell you, one of my great takeaways was really Sam's story about swimming to the island.
Yeah.
Seriously, how many of you have been swimming to your island and have felt like, I can't take another step or another stroke?
One of the things that I took from that story, Rick, is how often are you not paying attention to your fundamentals, right? And how much are you trying to just go the fast route? And
It's good.
how easy it is for you to drown when you do that versus
Ooh.
looking to the fundamentals and being able to just go, I can walk across this actually. And just work, right?
I love that.
I think is really just paying attention to that, and I think, and echoing what Curtis is saying, one of my favorite quotes that George has always said, in fact it came through my head this morning when I didn't want to get up, but he says quit doing things based on how you feel that you know you should be doing.
Say it again.
Quit doing things based on how you feel
Yes.
and do what you know you should be doing. And George is a great example of that to us as leaders, is how many times could he have not showed up and had reasonable reasons not to, right? And he still did it. He still knew what to do, and it's been a great example to me. And I think there's many of us in here who could speak to it. There's trials and tribulations that are going on in your life, but yet getting up and sticking to the course and doing what you know you should be doing versus what you feel you should be doing, and how much easier it is for your results to come back to the reality of what you're trying to create, right?
Yeah.
And when you don't do that, how easy it is for you to get distracted and allow yourself to go off the path and,
Yeah. Yes. Thank you for that.
Kind of to piggyback off of Lindsay, through Sam's talk, it got me to think. I enjoy all of it. Yesterday was awesome. But through Sam's, I wrote down 3 questions that I had and kind of did what he presented, basically a cost benefit analysis of, is this getting me closer to this goal? And I had 3 main goals up above. And it was crazy in retrospect to read it again this morning and look at one item was a comfort item, based on how I felt. One item was a fear item, and one item was a lazy item. And all 3 of those items, and one of them I legitimately enjoy, but it doesn't get me closer to any of my 3 goals. that
I love that.
economic, family, and then a 5-year goal that I have. And so it was cool. I haven't been other places where the norm is to assess your life and build on it. It's a cool thing.
Isn't that beautiful? Because that is to the core what we are, analyzing where we're at. You know, and I'm sitting there listening to Sam's talk about him swimming, and it's like I teleported myself into his story and there next to him and thinking how fearful it would have been swimming and don't think you can take your next stroke. You feel like, well, okay, it's easier just to sink.
Has anybody swam out to that island?
I can't even imagine. I looked at it and I'm looking like, are you crazy?
You wanna have swim goggles first of all,
Yeah,
so you can see where you're going.
right.
And it's a long ways out there.
You know, what gives us that perspective that we can take that swim, because we all do that in this real estate. I want $1 million my first year. Yeah, so do I. But it's about, look, we jump in, we start swimming. And we wake up one day after knocking $1 million and go, I'm gonna drown. But the story that Sam told himself, he envisioned what the call looked like that would be made to his wife, how his kids would respond. What about the 2 young men that was with him and the parents who got that call? That's another story that was way more powerful than, it was the story that he's telling himself that caused him to take that next stroke. Drowning's not an option. Look, you're in this business swimming. Failure's not an option. It's not. You're here. You have to take that next stroke, that next step. Mike.
Yeah, so I kind of relate that same story to the rocking chair test. If you either choose your pain now or you choose your pain later when you're 80 years old and you're like, oh, I should have done all that.
I like that.
It's just weighing your options, I guess.
Yes, it is. That's kind of what he's talk was the, analyzing the different pieces in our lives, right? I mean, and you listen to George's description of this journey, especially for you who've been here a long time, right down to the next piece, having Inspiro added on some of that painful journey along the way and the things that we're experiencing there. I mean, man.
Can I say that something that resonated as well with George yesterday, and I talked to John yesterday as well, and this is something that came up a number of times, is the decision's been made. This is where we're going. There's no other choice. We're going. So, I guess we gotta be here every day and do what it takes to get there.
See, I like that. That's simplicity, right? There's where we're going. Who's with me? Let's go. Let's make it happen. The story you're telling yourself is extremely important in how you show up every morning.
I had this and I wrote it down in my other book yesterday after I was sitting in my car and I was thinking, I was like, that was unbelievably powerful, but I was trying to internalize it, how it really affected me, and what I came up with was, and it might be a quote from somewhere else or mishmash of it, but it came up along the line, I don't have it word for word because I have my book in the car, but it was, if I don't want the past I've had in my future, I need to focus on what I'm doing today.
Wow.
So something along that lines, and I've been doing that. In fact, before I went to Summit, because I know how here lately Summit has really, I've always taken away something from it. I wrote in my journal before I went to Summit, and somebody was talking about how far along we've come. And I remember last year, this time, everything seemed fine. And George even hit on it. He was driving before the market crashed, and he wasn't happy. And I was going through something like that last year. And I knew I wasn't happy, but everything didn't fall apart till after that. And so I was writing in my journal before Summit, and I just thought, wow, he hit it right on the head. Which is, it happens to everybody, And I was writing down the things, how far I'd come since last year, because I had quit real estate last year.
after everything fell apart on me. My life, you know, half my family, kids I cut, my stepchildren who I thought was kids, and all that. But yeah, it was
Look how
really.
far you've come.
I really have. But I think you need to reflect on how far you've come, or that's part of the. You're always going to do what you've done unless you focus on what you're doing now.
I think it's so important what you're saying, but here's what I want to say. When you see people taking this journey, help them acknowledge how far they've come, because I've watched you. And I'm
you
so
have to
impressed.
remind me how far
Well,
I've come.
But that's, listen to what she's saying. This is so important, what she's saying. You have to remind me. I remember this time, I was just pumping the iron super, super hard. And I was angry because I looked in the mirror and I thought, you're still fat wuss. And I went home, took off my shirt, threw it in the laundry, and my wife goes, what's wrong with you? When I turned it off, she goes, wow. I says, what? I hurt myself? She goes, no, you look good. I says, really? Having to be reminded, man, I thought, I'm gonna keep this journey. You need to remind people and congratulate them for even the little wins and the big wins.
You have to control your input.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
think
it is.
It's like watching a child grow. You don't realize how much they've grown
I know it.
until somebody says, wow, they've gotten big. I mean, you know, all of a sudden they're 19 years old.
I remember when somebody says, get out of the way, old man.
That was me yesterday.
Then I went and looked in the mirror and I went, what? I am. Oh, okay. Accept where you're going. Because look, the inside has grown so much. Well, so is the outside. But still, the reality is I'm happy where I'm going, but I have so much further to go. And I think it's important to remind you. I mean, that's what's so great about George's stories that he was telling. It was so rich. Here's what I love. The emotion that come from it, that's real. The passion, the vulnerability. He did it. He's our leader. We should follow. I get it.
Well, I think a lot of leaders forget to show that they're vulnerable.
Yeah, I agree. And that's why this place is so great and so different, is we all are capable of showing, you know, hey, it hurts to go forward sometimes.
So, yeah, so I love these comments, by the way, and if you're like thinking of withholding or not sharing, or like, I'll let everyone go, I'm gonna tell you right now. These comments are awesome. But and I know I was late, but did we recognize like the newbies?
Yeah.
Awesome. So I just had the thought when you guys were sharing this that how many times do we not even get started, or something's too big, or you know, taking Sam's example or story even farther, how often are we just waiting there in the shallows, right, and not even trying something big? And then the cool thing is when we try it, we find out how capable we really are. And we hear the, you know, burn your ships, right? I mean, just go for it, put yourself out there. And I remember when I was contemplating joining the company and I was weighing a lot of stuff, one of the biggest things for me was one, the willingness to be pushed from a company perspective and get better. But then the other thing was just seeing how often George has failed, has put himself out there. Because typically those that try for the biggest things, they have the biggest failures, we call them, learning experiences. And that's a big deal for me. Like, I want to be around people that have put themselves out there, that have been through the fire and learned through it, you know, the right way and stuff like that. So just, I mean, you hear so many times, especially with new agents, when you're doing something new, I don't have the skill set, or I can't do this, or I'm not able. But you find out when you put yourself out there, you're going to learn that you are a lot more capable than you think you are. Just like Sam's story and George, a lot of us, a lot of things I've gone through, I never would have started if I would have realized, well, looking back, I would, but I may not have started if I realized the crap storm I would have gone through. But yeah, I mean, it's built me into who I am now, and it's the same with the company, it's the same with Sam, everyone else. So put yourself out there. Like, I mean, stop thinking small. Don't think small. Think bigger. You're not small.
Jump in and swim, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, one of the things that impressed me the most is at the end when George, a little bit what you said at the end, is he said something along the lines that if people tell you that your dreams are crazy or too much, that's when you know you have a real dream. And where I came from, down in Idaho, small town, people don't have dreams. They just don't. And I'm the crazy one that had dreams, and people look at me like you're retarded. And I got out of that environment. I picked this brokerage because of everybody's attitude towards dreams. And one day I'll achieve them.
You're on the path, right?
I get it.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Back on just looking at how far you've come, one thing that helps me, or has been helping me, is just reminding yourself where you have come, and I think be excited about where you're going, but also be happy with how far you've come. I don't know if that makes
I love that. It does.
sense.
Smile. The journey's good. Smile no matter where you're at. Be happy and learning.
Yes.
Without question.
Yeah.
So real quick, summarize us for what's going to be next week in the book. Tell us where we're at, where we need to be.
Oh, you covered all of it.
Right?
So the things that you definitely want to read over is it's going to talk about the acronym is RAS, and reticular activating system in your brain, and so that talks about we're going to get what we focus on. So when my wife comes home and she says, "Why are the kids so bad?" her brain's telling her that she has bad kids, and that's what she's going to see. Where she came home and said, I have such amazing students, that's what would happen. So it starts, we're going to want to start with that, and then it's going to go into how to build your confidence, and then it goes into creating goals and dreams and how to chase them.
I love that. You want to recap, and thanks for doing the first portion of this.
Yeah.
Anything to add to it?
That, and I won't say it correctly, but the reticular activation system, that's incredible science actually, because people in this circle probably know more about The Secret and more about, this idea of thinking and generating beliefs around what you want. But it really is science and hard science that, the things you think about are the way then you see the world. And that's,
that's huge.
Piggybacking off what we just talked about, it's the other thing. If you want to know what your next 10 years or next 5 years or whatever will look like, take a look at the past. And if you're not doing different things than you did the last 10 years, then your next 10 years will look the same.
Wow, love that.
And the self-confidence piece he talks about, that's my favorite part of that book, actually. And he's not the only one to say this. He says it's making and keeping promises to yourself.
Wow.
So if you say you're going to do something and you do it, you're going to build self-confidence.
I love that, for sure. Well, you guys, thanks for being here. This is a great group. Aaron Sperry, I want you to lead us in closing affirmations. Okay?
Good, bro.
Chairs back in place. Thanks, Charlie.
Assuming I am the boss.
Oh, that's
pretty cool. Just get on the winner circle forever. And they used to. I got away from it.
Good.
Come on, Aaron, get up there. Make it fast. All right, give us some closing. All right? I like talking to new people. I know what's important to me. I remember people's names. I play the plan I follow. I'm passionate about real estate. I know this is my favorite tool. I like to ask questions and listen. I know. I love to rock in my business. I see my future is awesome. I love my life. I'm grateful, thankful. I control my thinking. I believe in me. I feel authentic. I use my responsibility to stay here and get things done. I realize it must be true. I drink water daily. I connect with people. People love me. I love others. And I'm physically a guy on the extent. I lost my faith. I set my own team. I'm master slayer. I achieve my goals. I'm a real estate rock star. I'm a crash star. I'm really I'm following myself. I know my destiny. I'm healthy strong. I'm proud of it. I'm a star. I keep positive. Yes! Morning, 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 morning,
Now you get it.
Ow! Thunderstruck.